Okay, there she is. If you guys can even see it. Time to piss off the neighbors, I guess. So, yesterday, the guys had this truck out in New Ross, so I can show you guys. On their way home, something snapped. One of the bolts that holds this front drive shaft on let go. So, it has like a 2 1/4 bushing for like a spacer here on the front of this plate. Well, I wasn't going to find that yesterday at 5 o'clock, so I picked up some bolts, nuts, bolts, washers. We made it work. So far so good, but I'll have to check it through today. So they used the truck all day at my cousin's place yesterday. We're backfilling his house and shaping up his property, and installing drains and all that sort of stuff, tying the septic line in. So yeah, they used it all day, and they left. It's Kevin. He left, and a few kilometers down the road, he heard this really crappy noise. Got out and put the box up and looked, and sure enough, it was hanging down on that one side. So he called me, and I said, well, see if you can get it to my father's place, because I'm coming up there anyway to drop power off, and I'll try to pick up some stuff to piece it back together. So they got it to my father's, and then I picked up what I could. Like I said, I wasn't going to find that proper spacing bushing at 5:30 on a Friday. So I did what I could. I still have tools in the truck to check throughout the day to make sure it's still holding tight. But I drove it home, and right now everything's fine, no vibrations. You know, it's holding together as of now. We got a lot of loads though today. If today is like the other day at this job I was on down there, it's a very short haul. It's probably like 5 mile round trip. We're getting loaded by a 52-ton excavator, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's a Cat 352. 3 scoops and the truck's loaded. Now we're dumping into this pit that's rough, it's dusty, yeah, anyway. So it's not an easy day for the truck. So I'll definitely have to keep an eye on it. But I don't know what time it is right now. It's probably 5:45 maybe. It might be 6 o'clock now. I was up 5 o'clock, took the dogs out, did all that stuff. Ashley and the baby sleeping, so I'm gonna try to be quiet. But yeah, truck drivers, it's usually an early start for those guys, that's for sure. And pick something on the spot so that you can work the next day, type stuff. They do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. If you have a designated truck driver, and that's what he does, he drives a truck, especially if he has his own truck. That's the best thing you can do, to be honest, because then they take care of it. That's their livelihood at that point. If the truck's not working, it's not taken care of, the truck's down, then they could be without work for a while. So the best thing you can do is have a designated driver to each truck, that's for sure. I don't have that, unfortunately, because my truck drivers are also operators and everything. You know, like I don't have designated truck drivers at this point right now. They do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, let me tell you. They definitely do. The truck driver is usually the first guy up, because he's either floating gear or he's going to get material to have on site and ready to go. working on jobs like this, hired jobs like this, you just get up and go and show up. There's a lot of things they do people don't give them credit for. A lot of people, oh, a truck driver, you can find them anywhere, blah blah blah. No, that's not the case. And this truck, automatic. I'll get into that later on because I know lots of guys are gonna comment, tell me I'm not a truck driver if it's not a standard. If it's an automatic, you're not a truck driver. I have a standard. This is the one I picked for today for a reason, and I really don't think that a transmission makes a truck driver. There's a lot more to a good professional truck driver than a transmission. Alright, well, we're getting close to where we need to be. I got a truck in front of me and two behind me, and there's going to be a lot more. I was down here on Wednesday, and there was 14 trucks down here on Wednesday. It's the new ferry terminal that they're building in Blanford. Beautiful spot down here. So there's 10 trucks here today. There was 14 the other day. So it should be a little less congested over at the dump site. Hopefully trucks get spread out a bit. My CB radio isn't hooked up, and over there where we dump, it's kind of a one-lane situation. Sometimes you get caught, you gotta back up, pull off to the side or whatever. But yeah, 3 scoops with these excavators and we're loaded. I guess there's only one load spot today, so you should be spread out pretty good. The other day they had 2 excavators going, 2 piles, so it should be a little better today. But getting back to the automatic versus standard thing, so I really do enjoy driving my Sterling, which is an 8-speed, which is a pretty tame transmission. Like, let's be honest, an 8-speed's pretty tame. But I just had knee surgery, like really invasive knee surgery. I tore my patella tendon in my left knee, which is my clutch leg. And it's a really short haul here, like I said before. So for me to make all those trips, I'd be shifting a million times and my knee would be completely demolished at the end of the day. So I'm really thankful that I have this automatic right now, to be honest. And a lot of, guys that drove trucks for a long time, they, once they switch, that's it. Yeah, so I was saying, I talked to a lot of the guys who've been driving trucks for a long time, and, most of them say, first time I drove an automatic, I didn't want to go back. I do, and like I said, I do enjoy shifting. I especially, when you're downshifting and the engine brake comes on and all that sort of stuff. Like, I do like that. But there is something to be said about the automatic, that's for sure. Wet, sloppy looking stuff today, let me tell you. One scoop. that are good, and there's certain spots that are not. Down here is not. Trying to burn through. So here's where it gets a little tricky. Truck up there pulled over to a pull-up spot, pullover spot, I guess you can call it. Now the next question is, where are we dumping today? The other day she was getting jammed in here. There's lots of spots to dump it, but where we were dumping, she was pretty compacted and running out of space. Guys lost their mud flaps trying to back into piles. A couple guys got stuck. This guy back here in the dozer, man, he had his work cut out. So they were dumping over here, we were dumping over here, they got that pushed up. We were dumping in here, that's not touched. The main spot we were dumping was down here. We'll have to find out here, I guess. up. Done with no issues. Well, getting loaded again, and now I'm probably gonna do this just like another 35-40 times a day, maybe something like that. Alright folks, they just had their 30-minute lunch break, and now we're ready to get fired back up again. So everybody's in line. There might be a couple guys that's stuck over at the dump site. But yeah, we're ready to roll again for another probably 4 hours, I would think. I think the other day they shut down at like 4:30, so I'm kind of thinking that they'll do the same thing today between 4:30 and 5, I would imagine. But we don't make the rules. I just show up and drive a truck. So it turned out beautiful now. A lot of cloud in the sky. Figure out the spacing all over again. unless they're dumping back in the pit. They've got it good. They don't have to go back here and deal with all this. Sun's out, now it's instantly dusty, like extremely dusty. Burn your nostrils and the eyes dusty. Spot here is pretty much jammed up now. That's done. The dust. The air conditioner in this thing. The air conditioner itself works alright, but there's a huge amount of heat that comes up through the floor. Pretty much renders it useless. So I always keep the window down. Soft this is in here. guy who owns this pit, he's got a little dozer here. I don't know if I said that, but they definitely could use another guy over here with a dozer, pushing piles off and packing it down. He just can't keep up. It's just too much. But we're all just trying to find a spot where we can dump and then go get loaded again. But soon gonna be in a point where there's like literally nowhere to dump it. That's not gonna be right in the way. Like, guys are finding spots to dump where there really isn't room to dump the loads. Mud flaps off because they're trying to back as far into places as they can, and it's so soft that they're sinking in and losing their mud flaps. By the time I get back with mine, I don't know where the heck it's gonna go. There is a bit of room in here. I think that's where everyone's gonna start dumping it, I guess. I don't know. Alrighty folks, well it's now Sunday evening, so the video was yesterday, Saturday. Wrapping up the weekend here. You know, truck drivers, right? A lot of people don't give them enough credit, to be honest. Everyone thinks that anyone can jump into a truck and drive it, but that's not the case. And there's more to driving than just driving. Like a lot of times these guys are the first ones up. They're the ones floating the gear to get the gear on site ready to go for the operators, the foremans, all that sort of stuff. They do a lot of stuff, like I said before, a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you don't really see and a lot of times don't really appreciate. Usually the first ones to get up and go and the last ones to get home, because if there's a job that gets finished up and then the next day you're on to another job, well, a lot of times the operator is not the one that's floating the gear. He does his job, jumps with the machine, maybe cleans the tracks off, and then he goes home. But the driver, majority of the time, has to make sure that that machine either gets to its next job that night or early the next morning ready to go. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just shifting gears and dumping loads. There's a lot more that people don't really seem to appreciate most of the time. But you know, I do. And I actually don't mind driving a truck. I don't really mind it at all, to be honest. A lot of guys despise it. A lot of guys who are operators or owner operators, whatever, they don't want to drive a truck. I don't really mind it. I'll jump in a machine. Operating a machine is definitely nicer than driving a truck, but I really don't mind it that much. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was just a typical day, really. Some days are better, some days are worse, but you take the good with the bad, take care of your gear. Hopefully it does what it's supposed to do. Anyway, until next time, take care, stay safe, we'll see you then. Bye.